Hey guys, I want to show you the Phanerozoic box sets, which we finally received today after various delays, for which I hereby officially apologize. We have two different boxes. The green one is limited to 250 copies, all of which are already sold out. The brown box is limited to 750 copies, and there's still like 150 available right now. And they contain our new record, Phanerozoic 1 Pelagic, which is the first part of a trilogy we're going to release. Pelagic was an era, the first era in the Phanerozoic eon, which started 500 million years ago and still carries on until the present tense. It's the time we currently live in. In the case of Pelagic, there are 6 songs reflecting the 6 periods that were part of this era: Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and Permian. The artwork makes reference to our Precambrian record, which we released in 2007. You see the obvious similarities. Here we have multiple layers of cardboard that all have shape cuts in different forms, while with Precambrian we only had one layer basically. So what we have here is a trifold, which is basically a gatefold, but with 3 panels rather than 2. So as you can see here, these are 4 different front cover impressions, and depending on where you insert the text sheet and the inner sleeve with the vinyl, you can create these different impressions. So here, for example, the first flap is empty. The text sheet is inserted into the right flap, and the vinyl is inserted into the center flap. So when you fold this up, it creates a pretty deep 3D effect here with all these different layers. And here it's even deeper. Here there's only very few green shining through, and that's because there's 5 layers of cardboard on top of the actual green layer, which is the inner sleeve. So when you unfold this, first flap is empty, second flap is empty, and both the vinyl sleeve and the text sheet are inserted into the center panel, so that you have these first layer, second and third layer, fourth and fifth layer all folded up on top of the green layer, and that creates a lot of depth here. And we wanted to give this this cardboard a bit of a different feel. When you touch over it, you can actually already hear it. It's a bit like grinding paper or like quartz, and that's because of a sand lamination that's on top of a metallic Pantone color here. It's kind of like reflecting the light really nicely, and it just feels different. So then the next component is the instrumental version of the same record. That's something we started doing with the Centric records we released in 2010 to offer an instrumental version alongside the vocal version. I think it's just always nice to have, you know, an extra instrumental version, even if I really like the vocalist of a band. Offers you a different perspective on the music, and you'll pay attention to a lot of details that you otherwise probably wouldn't even notice. And I think we'll continue doing that with our future albums too. It's a standard gatefold. There's a UV gloss layer of ferns printed all over the outside and the inside of it, which you can only really see in different lighting conditions. All of this is done by a Norwegian artist called Martin Kvamme, with whom we've worked ever since Fluxion, I think. So he's been with us for a long time, and he's responsible for all this beautiful stuff. Now I would like to show you the different vinyl versions. There's 4 different versions, plus another one, which I'm ignoring. So here we have the splatter version. This is a transparent green vinyl with ivory color splatter for the vocal edition. All of the instrumental vinyl are in a similar style as the corresponding vocal version, but they're monochrome. So this is the white and black splatter version. This is the fumes version, or smoke. Looks really cool if you hold it against the light. It corresponds with, in this case, clear vinyl with black smoke for the instrumental version. This is the color and color version. This is made by putting 2 blobs of vinyl in different colors, like a smaller blob that ends up on the inside and the center, and a larger blob that forms the outside on top of one another before they're being pressed. The instrumental version, to go along, is also a color in color, in this case black and clear. And each one of these is obviously an individual, so like the shape of the dark blob on the inside is always different. Some of them are rather small, some of them are really big. So that's what's cool about them, that really each and every vinyl is a unique thing. Finally, we have the special version that comes exclusively with a green box set. This is an A-side, B-side effect, it's called, with splatter and smoke. Next we have a screen print designed by Javi from Era Design. These are limited to 250 hand-numbered copies. It comes with a very nice shiny metallic ink. This is something you can only do in screen prints. It'll never come out that shiny or metallic if you do offset or digital prints. Then we have the Precambrian DVD. We did this Precambrian 10th anniversary tour earlier this year. This was recorded and filmed at 2 different shows in the Netherlands and Berlin at Pelagic Fest. It's not really meant to be like a continuation of our Collective Oblivion DVD or anything like that. It's just something nice extra to have for, the people that were there or were not there. And that's that. Sticker, a patch. It's actually stitched, not just printed. A slip mat for your turntable, printed with the ferns that you also find at the inside of the instrumental version in a sleeve. This is an engraved slate rock plate, and yeah, this is like a real piece of rock. It's the stuff that people put on their roofs and it's heavy and has this really nice rough texture and structure. And whatever you want to do with it, figure it out. You can hang it on your wall, you can use it as a, just like a board to cut veggies or whatever. Take a video, send it to us. And especially tell us how you hang it if you do, because that's a challenge. And finally, we have 3 authentic prehistoric fossils, one from each era of the Phanerozoic eon, a Trilobite from the Paleozoic. It's hard to believe that this guy here is 450 million years old. An Ammonite, Cleoniceras, from the Mesozoic era. This one is about 100 million years old. These come in halves actually, they're cut through in the middle. So the outside looks like this, and then they're polished on this side. So this is half of one full ammonite. And this is the youngest fossil and the most difficult to come by. We really spent a lot of time finding something from the Cenozoic era, which is the era we currently live in still, and there was almost nothing available, just boring snails and stuff you also find on the beach, so we didn't want to go for that. Only this green box comes with 3 fossils, one from each era. The brown box only comes with 1. And you can choose here if you want a Trilobite or if you want an Ammonite, and there's a couple of other things available with this box, like a Mosasaurus tooth, for example. It was like a swimming dinosaur. Here you have one from each era, and we have these certificates of authenticity that also come with the box sets, one for each, that state where they were found, how old they are, and it's certified by this institute that we bought them from. We hope you enjoy this crazy thing as much as we do. It was definitely the most challenging and ridiculously time-consuming packaging project I have ever tried to realize, and I'm very happy that it came out the way it did, and hope you like it too.